Hi there, welcome to Shopcast number 43. This one is all about the circle scarf phenomenon. Okay, so we have a whole bunch of circle scarves that are keeping me warm. We also call these cowls. Some people call them eternity scarves or infinity scarves or Mobius scarves, and that all works. Various patterns. This one is called Marion. This is one skein of Magnum. This is two skeins of Nadeshko. And the pattern is called the Carefree Cowl. If you want to get a little bit more of color work, and it has some really simple to do holes in it, and that's just from doing knit two togethers and yarn overs. This is our latest store sample. Actually, that's not true. I'll show you the latest in just a minute. It's a couple layers down. This is the Stockholm scarf, and it's this really beautiful but not hard to do lace pattern, and I'm going to show you the brilliance is that it is completely and utterly reversible, which is neat. So what's happening, I'll hold it up this way, is on one side you see the knitted cable and then you see kind of a purly section and a rib, and when you flip it over, the purly section turns into that cable, and then this becomes a purly section, and then there's still the rib. So fantastic and awesome. Just about all of these are free. This one is one of the ones that isn't free. This is the Eternity scarf. Really quite lovely. This one's made out of 3 balls of Lima, which is Rowan's really beautiful chain constructed alpaca yarn that I featured way back when, so you can go back and find that shopcast, but also cool. And then these last two are both Gaptastic cowls. So this one is what one skein of Cascade Eco Wool plus a single ball of Kids OKs looks like. And there was lots of Eco Wool left over. And then this one is 1 ball of Cascade Eco Wool. This is the brand new sample that Melissa just finished, so it hasn't been in the store yet. But it's 1 skein of Eco Wool and 2 skins of Kids OKs, and she knit completely until she was done with the Kids OKs, and she still had a little tiny bit of the Eco Wool left over because it has more yarn. But this is yummy, and this is going back on. I'll have links to all the different patterns listed at the end of the website, or at the end of the shopcast. And what I did want to say about these is they're fantastic ways to learn how to knit in the round, because your biggest trick is making sure that when you join your needles together after the initial cast on that you don't have things twisted. Working with a 32-inch length needle, you don't want to get too crazy long, because even though this is bigger than 32 inches around, having the stitches scrunched on a little bit makes it easier to work with. And I am totally eating a little bit of extra fluff from having all of those around my face right now. Pardon me. But they are lovely and wonderful and fairly straightforward and easy to do once you do get it joined. My personal trick is that I don't worry so much about trying to figure out the twist of the cast on until I've completed the first round. And then I've got more of a base underneath my needles. Actually, I can show you what I'm talking about. I'm making a t-shirt. So here's my cast on. And this happens to be a provisional cast on, which is why I am doing it in multiple colors and why it's already been cut off on both sides. But if you can see, here's my knotted edge facing the inside, facing the inside, facing the inside. It faces the inside here, but right there, it's actually twisted all the way around. And that is a bad thing, unless you're doing it intentionally. So sometimes if you did want one of these that has a big twist in the middle that's there no matter what all the time, you might do that on purpose, and it would look kind of like this. It has a big double knot in the center. But in the meantime, as you join and you start knitting in the round, it'll be twisted, but once you've done one more round, that part is thicker, so it'll be easier to check that all of the fabric is pointed to the inside. If there is a twist, you can work it out to one place in between the needles. There'll be a small amount of yarn there because you've already done a round, but that just gets flipped over the needle as the knots get pushed to the center, and then you will be good. See what it looks like when all the knots face the center? It's awesome. If that's not clear enough, especially since I don't have a camera pointing over my shoulder down at the knitting, you can go to places like knittinghelp.com or just to YouTube and search for knitting in the round. They'll probably show you various methods that include using circular needles that are large, using a magic loop, which is a really large circular needle, or using double points, but you'll definitely get the idea of what to look for. And then you can make fantastic scarves like these. The fun thing about making a huge one, earrings, the dangers of wearing big giant spirals in my ears. But you make a big one and it can do that big giant cozy, oh, I'm a model from London and I'm so fashionable. Or it makes a hood. And this one is brand new, so it hasn't really done any of its normal relaxing and growing that these cowls will do a bit. But that is awesome. It keeps my hair, or it keeps my ears warm without messing my hair too badly. Or, again with the fluff up my nose. Or you can drape it over your shoulders and either just let it hang there depending on the size, or give it a little flip and pin it into place and you've got a really lovely wrap. So these are fantastic. I've knit a few on the smaller scale. I did one out of hand spun yarn, but it wound up being a little bit too shallow, so I couldn't get as much fullness as I wanted. But it's a learning thing, and that's what you get if you're like me and you don't follow patterns. But if you do follow patterns, you'll get something very, very lovely the first time off, and it'll be flawless-ish. Anyway, the other thing I was going to show you was show and tell. There they are. The mittens that I might have been discussing last week have been finished. My sweetie Chris is off to Toronto. Actually, wrong hand. Tomorrow? No, Wednesday. And it's going to be cold, and he can't wear animal fibers, unlike my other sweetie Paul. But, so for Chris, I made mittens, and there's the light. So this is 2 strands of charcoal held with 1 strand of black, so 3 strands held together. I was knitting them on a 4mm needle. I purposefully left a hole in the top of the thumb, so that was a big bound off buttonhole for about 5 stitches, and then cast 5 stitches back on, so he can use his phone in the cold without having to take his mittens off. And all of the strings are still dangling, just in case he decides that he needs his thumb to be longer or the fingers to be changed in any way. So before I actually darn those ends in, I could still undo my final drawstring closing and unravel it a little bit and change. And actually, that reminds me I'm supposed to be making this thumb longer, so I will go take care of that in just a moment. We still don't have our other colors of this in yet, but we did just get a new box of Barocco today. I don't know what's in it. It's probably more ultra alpaca, but there's a lot of it, which is really exciting. And there's other things. Oh, actually, what I was going to cover today was the new Addi lace kits. They are the Addi lace clicks, but they are the full-length lace needles instead of being the little stubby ones that we got last time. And they've got some really cool features, but we've already sold all of our kits. So if you're interested in getting one, do give us a call and we'll put your name down in the book for the next time we restock. Otherwise, hopefully when we restock, there will be one in the store long enough that I can show you all its brilliant features, and then you too will fall in love with the new Addi lace kit. We actually think it's the best of both worlds. So unless you really don't like pointy needles, this is a fantastic combination of good needle length. I love these mittens. But good needle length, nice slippery needles, and the Addi, that's the regular finish. It's very shiny and slippery and wonderful. The cables are great. They have a little new feature that lets you pull lifelines along. If you're doing lace knitting, you'll know what that means. And they're cool, and they're priced the same as the regular set, which is about $179. So with tax, it comes over to just $200-ish. So again, not available right now, but give us a call and we'll put your name on the call list for when they get in next. I think that's everything I'm really excited about this week, but who knows what'll happen by next week. I will talk to you then. Bye.